Hey, what's going on, guys? I want to show you guys real quick how to oil a cutting board. This is a booze block. I know it's kind of upside down, but booze block. There we go. Very, very nice cutting board. They are definitely not cheap, and if you want them to last a good long while, you know, get what you pay for, you need to oil them from time to time. So basically all you're going to need is I have just a plain old white rag here, and excuse me, this is some booze block oil. This they call it mystery oil. The thing you want to remember whenever you oil one of these, you want to make sure that it's food grade oil. You don't want to put something on there that isn't food grade, because you're going to be cutting food and, you know, vegetables and things like that, and you don't want that kind of crap into your food. So make sure it is food grade. So this, and like I said, this one is the Booze Block brand. I like it. I think I got this at Bed Bath & Beyond. It's like 10 bucks, and this lasts a long time. So all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to open it, and I'm just going to put a little bit of oil on the block there. And I'm going to take my rag here, and I'm just going to kind of go in circles. Of course, you want to, I didn't mention it, but I just kind of assumed it's common sense. You want to make sure that the board is nice and clean before you do this, okay? And I'm just kind of going in circles, you know, wax on, wax off. And you don't need to start off with a whole heck of a lot. And then pretty soon I've got the entire surface of this side of the board covered. And then, so you don't really see any like standing spots, you know, which is good. And I'm kind of going along some of the edges here, getting that out of the way. You can do it when you flip it over, but hey, got the time now, so why not? So now that that is kind of soaking in there, what I'm going to do is I have another little towel here, and I'll push that out of the way. This is just mainly so I don't have to clean my granite countertops. So now what I'm going to do is just flip this on over and just repeat the process. I can actually use a little bit less oil than I did, because there's still quite a bit on the rag. Okay, you always want to start off with less than you think you might need. You can always add more, but it can be problematic to take oil away. And this oil will absorb into the board, down into the wood itself. This is what keeps the wood nice and clean, and not so much clean in terms of like antimicrobial, but just keeps the wood itself in good shape, and so that it'll last you for a long time. And it's wood, so it can and will dry out, particularly, you know, depending on how often you use it. I mean, I've had this cutting board for several years, and it's still in pretty darn good shape. And like I said, this cost me, I think it was over $100 for this booze block. And they make these, you know, they can be hundreds of dollars depending on how big and how thick you get. So like I said, you really want this thing to last. And that's pretty much all there is to it. They do make a cream, kind of a lotion that you can put on, but I never really used that. I just kind of used the oil. And basically what you'll do is, now that you've got both sides, I've got the end pieces, I can flip it up here. That looks good. That looks good. So now what I'll do is I'll just store it standing straight up over here off to the side. This will dry in a few hours. You can let it dry overnight, whatever you want to do. And what will happen is, as I mentioned before, the oil will absorb into the wood and keep the wood hydrated and good to go for long time for you to use it. Just want to mention too, in caring for these wooden cutting boards, and that goes for pretty much any kind of cutting board, whether it's a booze block or whatever, you do not want to soak these in water. It will warp, it will come apart at the seams. I've seen it happen. And you also don't want to put it in the dishwasher. So if you're going to scrub it in the sink real well, get it out. And what I do, even though I'll stand it up and let it dry, I'll go over it with a rag or a paper towel to get off as much excess moisture as possible, because I don't want that water in the wood. So just something to keep in mind. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, leave them down below. Until next time, Texas Triple Tapper, out.